Hello, I Dr. Prashant Upadhyay welcome you all on my YouTube channel Gate Arena. So, in today's lecture, we will going to talk about the semiconductor materials. So, when we are talking about the semiconductor materials, we say that semiconductor materials are a group of materials having their conductivities between those of metal and insulator. So, let me write for you that semiconductors are a group of materials having conductivities between those of metals and insulator. So when we are talking about the we say that semiconductors have their properties in between of the metals and the insulator, or we can say a conductor and the insulator. So first we will going to define what is insulator. So when we are talking about the insulator, we say that insulator are the substance which do not allow the passage of a electric current through them. That means the current through them is almost zero. Okay, there is no conductivity through the insulator. Electrons cannot pass through the insulator. For example, we say the wood and the glass. And if we talk in terms of energy band, the valence band is full while the conduction band is empty. And the distance between the valence band and the conduction band is very high. From the given energy band diagram, you can see that the electrons that has to conduct, they have to reach to the conduction band. So you can see that the energy between the valence band and the conduction band is almost 15 electron volt. So for this reason we can say that electric conductivity of such material is extremely small and may be considered as a nil at the ordinary condition. Right now, we are not going into the much detail of these properties. Okay, so we are just giving the overview of the insulator. On the other hand, when we are talking about the metal or the conductors, we say that metals are the, or we can say the conductors are those substances which allow the passage of an electric substance easily through them. For example, when we say you are using your mobile phone cables or you are using the electric wires in your home, we say it is a copper wire. So we can say that copper is the metal which is being used to carry the electric current. So in the terms of energy band diagram, if we talk about, you can see valence band and the conduction band both are overlapping with each other. So even a small amount of potential is given to it, the electron from the valence band will move to the conduction band. Therefore, we are saying it has got the high conductivity. Therefore, the conductors are known as the materials which provide you the high conductivity. However, when we are talking about the semiconductor materials are those materials which has got the properties between the conductors and the insulator. So when we are talking about the semiconductors, we say that semiconductor are those substance which has got the electrical conductivity which lies between the conductor and the insulator. And if we talk with respect to the energy band diagram, so you can see from the figure that we have got the valence band, and then we have got a conduction band, and the gap between the conduction band and the valence band is very little. Okay, so in the figure you can see it is 1 electron volt. Okay, so the filled electrons can jump from the valence band to the conduction band and can conduct. Okay, so we will going to talk this thing in more detail as we go into this subsequent lectures. Okay, so when we are saying the semiconductor materials, what we say that, so we will be writing the short form of SM for the semiconductor materials, and we can say that when we are talking about the semiconductor materials, we can classify the semiconductor materials into the two parts. Okay, one is known as the elemental semiconductor, okay, which belongs to the group 4 of the periodic tables. So let me write for you, that's elemental semiconductors, and this belongs to the group 4 of the periodic table. And in the next slide we will going to discuss about the periodic tables. okay, some portion of our periodic tables, okay, from where we are taking this elemental semiconductors. So we can say that semiconductor materials can be classified into two types: elemental semiconductor and the compound semiconductors. Okay, so we are writing the compound semiconductors. And compound semiconductor are the very special semiconductors. As we go into the further lectures, we will going to see that these are very widely used nowadays, and we will see that why it has been used. Okay, so when we are talking about the compound semiconductor, we say that the compound semiconductors are formed due to the spatial combination of group 3 and group 5 elements of the periodic table. So when we are talking about the compound semiconductors, we say the compound semiconductors are becoming, or we can say have become, an emerging technologies because they have got their unique intrinsic properties of the materials, which is been providing the advantage into the optoelectronics and the sensing applications. Okay, so coming to the periodic tables. Okay, so when we are talking about the periodic tables, we are just taking the portion of a periodic tables. Okay, so we have got a group 3, group 4, and group 5 elements. Okay, so we are just writing this for you. So when we are talking about the group 3 elements, we are talking about the boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, and when we are talking about the group 4 elements, okay, we are talking about the carbon, silicon, germanium. And when we are talking about the group 5 elements, we are talking about the phosphorus, we are talking about the arsenic, we are talking about the antimony, that is the Sp. So what we can say that when we are talking about the elemental semiconductor, as we have discussed in the previous slide, so group 4, if you can see from the periodic table, the group 4 elements are known as the elemental semiconductor. That is your silicon and the germanium. So I'm writing Si for silicon and Ge for germanium. When we are talking about the compound semiconductors, we say that as we have already discussed in the previous slide, that compound semiconductors are formed by the special combination of the group 3 and group 5 elements. For example, aluminum and phosphorus. Okay, that will going to give you ALP, aluminum phosphide. Then we have got Al and As. This will going to give me the this will going to give you the aluminum arsenide. Then we have got Ga and P, that is the gallium phosphide. Then we have got combination of In and P, that will going to give me the compound semiconductor as the indium and the phosphide. So we can also form a compound semiconductor using the Ga and As, that is the gallium arsenide. And you will going to see that these compound semiconductors are becoming more and more important nowadays, and the future technologies such as driverless car and the artificial intelligence are also using this technology. Even your mobile phone which you are using are also using these application. So thank you everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture.